about the wins and all the losses in my life. I can tell you about the time we ain't give up and we still fight. I can tell you about the time. I can tell you about the...
Yo, what is good? It's that boy Gibbs back with another one, man. Happy New Year's to everybody out there, man. This is gonna be a great year, man. We got a lot of great fights coming up, man. I hope everybody's good, and man, I'm just ready for a great jam-packed year, man. We got 14 fights on this card, and next up, next week we actually got a UFC event. So with no further ado, we're going to go ahead and start with the first one. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, there it is. So let me go ahead and get to this first fight where we have Joe Solecki versus Aliev. And this can be a good fight here. If we're going to go over the tell of the tape, we got Joe Solecki, 31 years old, Aliev, 24 years old, 5'9" for Joe Solecki, 5'10" for Aliev. A 2-inch reach advantage for Aliev. Aliev is a guy that wants to take you down, grind on you, and he wants to just really beat your ass, man. This dude, he definitely will throw overhand rights to get to his wrestling. And Joe Solecki, man, a guy who won 4 fights in a row, he's low-key on a big skid now, man. You'll see a lot of the L's. They're grappling matches, but it was 1, 2, 3. Well, no, technically it was a three fight win streak. But yeah, man, it's a guy who got knocked out by Jakar Close. Then he got grinded out by Grant Dawson. So I think honestly in this fight, I think Aliev is gonna come in here and do the same thing that Grant Dawson did. Because that's the fight that Naralo actually has. So I think that Tarzik Eagle is gonna probably win by decision. And if we go over the odds real quick, you guys got a little peek. Hopefully I cut that out. And it was supposed to be Yanel Ashmoose in this fight, in this spot here, but I guess that fight got canceled. So yeah, it was Joe Solecki coming in and saving the day. But I definitely think that in this fight, Aliev is probably gonna win this fight, and it'll probably be a good one. So we're gonna slide over to the next one where we actually will be going over to the Fight Center. And where next up we have Fatima Kline versus Victoria Dudakova. You got Fatima Kline 6'1", Dudakova 8-1. They're not showing their faces. I guess they aren't big time yet. 25 years old for Dudakova, 24 years old for Fatima Kline. And a half an inch reach advantage for Fatima Kline at 67.5 to 67. Man, Fatima Kline, a girl who had a big fight in her last one versus Gadzhiyasulov, and a lot of people thought that she definitely won that fight. I thought that I felt like Gadzhiyasulov won it pretty easily, but I mean, hey, she did lose her O in that fight. But I mean, to be honest with you, she was a favorite for a little bit, and then it slid over to Gadzhiyasulov being a favorite. And rightfully so, because she won a unanimous decision. If you got Victoria Dudakova, she's another woman who lost her O in her last one. She was fighting Sam Hughes, and if you guys remember that fight correctly, she was cruising. Honestly, she was cruising through the first 2 fights, and then boom, Sam Hughes. First 2 rounds, I would say. I would say it was the first round and a half. I personally thought Dudakova won the fight, but the refs gave it to Sam Hughes, so I'm not a judge. Um, I guess, Dudakova's a chick that she wants to get her hands going and she wants to get her wrestling going. But in the UFC, she's just shown that she's not able to really get her wrestling going. Just like when versus Jinyu Fry and then versus Sam Hughes in the first round and a half. She got it going a little bit, but then that's when Sam Hughes took over. I think Fatima Kline's a big favorite here. She should win this fight pretty easily, but this line is egregious, and there's no way that I could put my hard-earned money on Fatima Kline at minus 800. Yeah, what's the odds at? Yeah, it was minus 850. It's the first time she's been an underdog. Dudakova 0-1 as a underdog. So wait, I don't know where I got that at though. Dudakova 0-1. I don't think she's ever been an underdog actually. 2-1. No, first time fade. That's first favorite. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. So I had to switch that up because that was wrong. Go ahead and give me Fatima Kline to probably win this fight, boys. And I think we don't have to make that harder than it has to be. Next up, we got Magomed Gadzhiyasulov versus Bruno Lopes, and I think this is probably one of the more competitive fights on the card, folks. You got the 9-0 Gadzhiyasulov, 31 years old. Bruno Lopes minus 31, plus 150, minus 175 for Gadzhiyasulov. They're both 6'2" and a 1.5 inch reach for Gadzhiyasulov. So, like I said, man, they match up pretty well. I think in this fight, Gadzhiyasulov probably will be winning in the minutes, and if Bruno Lopes can't get a knockout, I think he's probably gonna just lose minutes. What I will say is Gadzhiyasulov sometimes leaves himself open, just like in that Brinson Ribeiro fight. He found himself in trouble in spots. Like in that second round, just because he was defensively irresponsible. So that's something I'll be looking out for in this fight because they both actually have a common opponent in Brinson Ribeiro. Um, Brinson Ribeiro knocked out Lopez as a big underdog, and Gadzhiyasulov was, I would say, a bigger favorite versus Gadzhiyasulov versus Brinson Ribeiro. So, having said that, I think that Gadzhiyazulov's probably going to win by decision. So we won't make that one harder than it has to be. Next up, we got Ernesta Kareckaite versus Nicole Caliari. And I think that this is going to be a good fight. You got Nicole Caliari making her UFC debut. She's coming in after coming from the UFC Contender Series, where she got a nice little armbar. I believe as an underdog. It says minus 115 on here, but I believe she was an underdog. Um, and let's go see if Tapology, let's see what they thought. Yeah, they thought Kalari was going to win that one, but not by armbar. I think that Ernesta Karakike is a woman that has very good output, and I think that she just got put in a bad spot versus Diane Barbosa in her last one. And come to find out, Barbosa's a dog. Like she wasn't favored to win that fight. She was a plus 185 underdog, and rightfully so because I mean I feel like Barbosa, at the end she did gas out. If you guys remember that though, she did gas out at the end, and I felt like Barbosa was taking over. Um, I think that this is a fight where Nicole Caliari is going to have spots. I feel like Ernesta Karakite is going to have the better output. And what I mean by that, like she's just going to be hitting her more than I think that Caliari will. But I will say, I think Nicole will have the moments like where the times where Karakite hits her 10 times, the one time Caliari hits her, that could be bigger. So, that's something to look out for. But I'll say go ahead and go carrot hike, but I probably wouldn't be putting my money on it. Next up, we got Preston Parsons versus Jacoby Smith, and we actually got Jacoby Smith coming in on short notice. Preston Parsons was supposed to be fighting Andreas Gustafsson, and I actually thought that I think this is actually a worse matchup for him because I went back and watched a whole bunch of Gustafsson. I feel like Gustafsson could have got tired in some spots versus Preston Parsons, but I think in this matchup, Jacoby Smith is never going to give Preston Parson what he's looking for. I think he's going to be controlling. What I will say on the feet, if the guys are standing up and punching, I feel like Preston Parsons will have Jacoby Smith by a landslide. And that's no joke because Preston Parsons, he's not a great striker by any means. He's not a great striker by any means, but Jacoby Smith, honestly, he's a pretty shit striker. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. But I think Jacoby Smith has him beat in the grappling department and in the wrestling department and in the minute winning department. So I think that Jacoby Smith should win his fight pretty easily. This was another fight I have on here canceled, but oh shoot, they got rid of my odds. I had got rid of my odds on accident, so yeah, I don't have the odds from the other day. So these are the odds I have now. Um, yeah. So basically, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go Preston Parsons to win by. I would not Preston Parsons to win by just anything. We're going Jacoby Smith to win by I would say TKO. Next up, we got Thiago Moises versus Trey Ogden, and I think that this is gonna be a good fight, folks. We got Trey Ogden, 29 years old. Trey Ogden's not 25 years old. We got Trey Ogden, 35 years old. Thiago Moises, 29, 5'11" for Ogden, 5'9" for Moises. 1.5-inch reach advantage for Trey Ogden at 72 to 70.5 for Moises. I think that this is a fight finally. I love Trey Ogden, by the way, but I think that this is a fight finally where we will see him probably get submitted because, he's been submitted 3 times in his career, and all of them have been on the regional scene. So you can't tell me that a guy like Thiago Moises can't find the neck of Trey Ogden. And if you go back versus Lloyd Rosabayev versus Trey Ogden, there was big spots where I feel like Rosabayev could have put him out if he had better cardio and maybe like a better 1-2 or something. I don't know, man. I think Moises is probably the better fighter here. 18-8, 18-6. I mean, there's a world where Trey Ogden wins this fight, and that's by outpoint Moises. If Moises isn't able to get the grappling going, Trey Ogden will be winning this fight. I am going Moises by decision, but I think that this is a fight where Ogden could win, but I'm banking on Thiago Moises to win more than not. Next up, we got Marco Tulio versus Ihor Potieria. And we got Ihor Potieria, man, still at that 185 division. I think that's good for him, man, because at 205, he wasn't able to take the power that they were giving out. So I just think that was the fight where, yeah, man, Ihor Potieria, man, is a guy. He has okay hand. He has actually pretty underrated boxing. Great footwork, but his chin's questionable, I would say. He didn't get knocked out by Cesar Almeida like everybody was predicting. 90% of people thought that he was going to get knocked out. But I think Marco Tulio, man, is a guy that has the tools to knock him out. What I will say, though, I see Marco Tulio get knocked out pretty bad versus, what was the guy's name? Alexandre Silva. Yeah, man. I'm going to put that on the screen.
Vitório não conseguiu. 2 cruzados, acertou, foi pro chão!
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, so I'm saying, man, he can't be chinned. So I also feel like Marco Tulio is a guy that if he gets tired, you can't tell me Ihor Potieria can't take over. But that is not what I'm predicting to happen. I'm predicting Marco Tulio to just do what he does, man. Put the pressure on people and beat them up. That's just what I'm thinking that's going to happen. Ihor Potieria, he has not lost 3 fights in a row in the UFC, and I'm believing that this is going to be the time it happens. I think Ihor Potieria, he kept his job versus that Brychek. Robert Brychek came in as a plus 135 dog. I thought that was a gift line on Brychek, and Brychek did not get the job done in that one. So, yeah, man, go ahead and give me Marco Tulio the big favorite. But, yeah, I don't know, brother. I couldn't bet on a big underdog, a big debutant favorite. Fuck that. Next up, we got Jose Johnson versus Felipe Bunes. And we got Felipe Bunes coming in at 35 years old. Jose Johnson, 29 years old. 6 foot at the flyweight division for Jose Johnson. 5'7" for Felipe. 71.5-inch reach for Jose Johnson. So not really much of an advantage to write home about with as far as the reach advantage. 69 for Felipe Bunes, though. This is a guy who does land 5 strikes per minute, and I actually like that output for him. But I think that his bread and butter is going to be on the ground. Bunes, he is getting a lot of takedowns and a lot of control versus Josh Van, but I think that cardio just let him down. I think that this is a fight where I think that we actually will see Felipe Bunes possibly get a submission on the tall Jose Johnson. Jose Johnson, man, a guy can be taken down at will. A guy, Chad and Helliker was taking him down. Like, nah, man, you can't tell me that Felipe Bunes can't take him down and choke him out. This is actually the only dog that I'm picking on his card to win. Yeah, stop the video right now. Felipe Bunes is the only dog that I'm predicting to win on his card. And yeah, I'm predicting him to win by submission, folks. The money actually is coming in on Felipe Bunes, if I'm not mistaken. And rightfully so. It's minus yeah, the odds is actually minus 188. Minus 188 and then plus 142. Those are the real odds now. So yeah, man, go ahead and give me Jose Johnson to get his ass choked out by Felipe Bunes. Or he knocks him out, though, folks. Next up, we got Punahele Soriano versus Euros Medic. And I think this is going to be an amazing fight. You got to fight a guy, you got a fighter in Punahele Soriano, a guy that used to only go for the big knockouts. But I think that, man, he figured out that wasn't working, and that wasn't really the way that he could win fights consistently in the UFC. So he's went to his grappling. So that means that he's gotten out what got him to the big show. And I think that that's going to be bad for him in this one, folks. I think Euros Medic is a guy that you don't want to stand on the feet with. And if you're forced to stand on the feet with Euros Medic, he might put your ass out. And that's what I'm predicting to happen. I think that Euros Medic is going to knock out Punahele Soriano. I know in Euros Medic's last one, he knocked out if he'll let me go to it. That's weird. Oh, profile. That's how you go to it. Yeah, he knocked out Tim Means in his last one, then got submitted by Mintabek Orbai. But then he knocked out Omar Morales, then Matthew Samuelsberger. Those are pretty good wins, man. I think that yeah, Earl's Medic just has the cleaner striking, folks. I think that's as easy as it gets. It's pretty binary, man. I think either Punahele Soriano is getting the takedowns and he gets some mean grounded pound off, some nasty 12-6 elbows or something, or Euros Medic is just gonna pick him apart on the feet and is gonna eventually put his ass out. That's what I'm predicting to happen because Punahele Soriano is only averaging 1.48 takedowns per fight. It's not going to be enough to get out Euros Medic. And about that, Euros Medic is going to be he has good get up game, and Soriano's going to get tired wrestling, and he's going to knock his ass the fuck out. So go ahead and give me Euros Medic by TKO. Next up, we got Christian Rodriguez versus Austin Bashi, and it's going to be a good one. I'm going to slide over to Tapology. Bro got no picture. And we are on the main card now, by the way. Oh my God, what the fuck? All right, so we got the 13-0 Austin Bashi, 11-2 Christian Rodriguez. C-Rod, first time getting submitted in his career versus Julian Erosa via submission. Went for the takedown, got taken down, and got choked out. I think that man, Austin Bashi is a guy who's pretty green, but he went and got the submission versus Dorian Ramos. And Ramos definitely, he did his thing in that one, but it's just not for long enough. Bashi's a guy, I went back and watched a little bit of his career, and he's a little bit of green. He's a little bit green on the feet, in my opinion. Christian Rodriguez, a guy who definitely, he was doing good at 35, but he just couldn't make the weight. So now he's at 145. And I think that C-Rod's going to get outmanned in this fight, and Austin Bashi is going to get his grappling going. And Austin Bashi has a great gas tank. I think that this kid is special, to be honest with you. If as long as he can get his hands going down the road, because there will be matchups where if he can't get the grappling going and he can't get his hands going, he will get knocked out. And I'm letting that be known. He's not going to be a guy who's going to be undefeated forever. But no, I'm going Austin Bashi to win by, I would say, decision. Next up, we got Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov. And Roman Kopylov, man, a guy who's 32 years old, getting up there, but he's still there, man. He's still in his prime, in my opinion. Chris Curtis was really getting up there at 37 years old. 5'10" for Chris Curtis, 6 foot for Kopylov. Half an inch reach advantage for Chris Curtis. I think that this is a fight where Roman Kopylov should get the boxing going, 2 boxers. And I think that Kopylov, the bigger fighter, is going to just get his hands going, and a guy who actually has takedowns in his back pocket in Kopylov. I think that, man, this line's actually justifiable. Kopylov will win his fight 6 out of 10 times, folks. And that's honestly what I'm predicting to happen. Chris Curtis, man, a guy who definitely got uh, out of a split decision with Brendan Allen. And I thought that he definitely did lose that fight. Brendan Allen, he definitely was getting rocked up a little bit, but he did okay. So this is striker versus striker according to ESPN. But Kopylov, like I said, has the striking in his back pocket, grappling in his back pocket. Go ahead and give me Kopylov to not make it too long, and I think that he's going to kick his ass. Next up, we got Cesar Almeida versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan, and I think Al Hassan is a guy who's 39 years old, man, and I think that he's absolutely getting up there in age. Cesar Almeida, he has a 1-inch reach advantage at 74 to 73. They both would be in an orthodox stance. And Cesar Almeida is a guy who's landed 4 strikes per minute. Um, I think that Abdul Razak Al Hassan is a has-been. I think he's past his prime. And I think that Abdul Razak Al Hassan is going to get knocked out in either the second or third round. Cesar Almeida is on this main card for a reason. They don't have this fight on the main card for no reason. This fight is going to be a banger, or Abdul Razak Al Hassan gets a big knockout because this is a perfect matchup for Abdul to come in here and try to steamroll the technical striker. Because you sometimes, just like Cyril Gane versus Tai Tuivasa, you just have technicality versus brawling, and some weird stuff happens. I know Gane won that fight still, but he did get rocked. I think that Cesar Almeida is going to win this fight, and I think it's going to be pretty convincing, actually. Yeah, man, you got Chris. Oh snap! Yeah, so you have Chris Curtis, not Chris Curtis. Well, we'll go. Robin Kopylov is 3-0 as a favorite as well. I love that. And Chris Curtis was 3-2 as a dog. But if we're talking Cesar Almeida, he's 1-1 as a favorite, 1-2 as a dog for Abdul Razak Al Hassan. I definitely think that he should win his fight in Cesar Almeida. I think he's going to knock him out too in the second or third round. Next up, we got Carlston Harris versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. And we got Ponzi, man. He's 38 years old versus Carlston Harris, who's 37 years old. And I feel like this is a pretty evenly fight. It's a pretty evenly close match fight, and rightfully so, man. I think Carlston Harris is the side I want to be on, though. He was automatically the favorite in the beginning of this, and now it's a pick 'em according to these odds. And I think Carlston Harris is the side, folks. He has the wrestling in his back pocket. He's not the more active fighter as far as striking, but he's the more accurate fighter. And Ponzinibbio has been knocked out. They've both been knocked out, let's be honest. Carlston Harris got knocked out in his last one versus Chaos Williams. And Ponzinibbio lost a 7-fight win streak to the Leech and Ling Lijiang. So, he can be knocked out himself. I think that in this fight, though, Carlston Harris is going to just be able to get his grappling going if he needs to, and he will have the more crispier hands. And I feel like the bigger shots will be on the side of Carlston Harris, and he's the more defensively responsible fighter. So I am going Carlston Harris in the co-main event. Next up, we have the main event of the evening, where we have Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. And before we get to the main event, if you could, please throw a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Last year was a great year, but I want this to be the best year and biggest year for us. So having said that, please throw a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, please. Next up, we will get to the main event. We got Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas in a rematch. We got 5-4 for Amanda Ribas, 5-3 for Amanda Ribas, 5-4 for Mackenzie Dern. And we actually have Amanda Ribas coming down to strawweight. Amanda Ribas, I think her making weight is going to be a big story in this fight because she had been used to fighting the flyweight. That's 125. I think Mackenzie Dern is a chick that, man, she's super fit, and that's big booty Dern. But I think whenever she has issues getting her takedowns, it's bad, man. And you see her takedown accuracy is almost 17%, but it's 16.92 So she has a 16% takedown accuracy. That is terrible, man. That is literally god awful. But when she is getting it down on the floor, though, she's tough. But you know, it's when she is getting it down on the ground. I think that Amanda Ribas is going to win this fight, just like she did the first time, and it was a unanimous decision. On the feet, Amanda Ribas just looked like the more crispier fighter, the more comfortable fighter, and I just feel like Mackenzie Dern, man. I hate to say this, but I feel like Mackenzie Dern's not as good as everybody thinks she is. She's good at jiu-jitsu, yeah. But what else is she good at, though, folks? Nothing. When she's on the mat, she's super dangerous. But I can't say that she's going to get a submission here. She got her ass beat in the first one. And, you know, rematches are different. I get that. But I just think that, yeah, I think Mackenzie Dern's going to probably lose again. And Amanda Ribas is going to get back on track as long as she can make weight. So having said that, we're going to go ahead and get to a recap where I have Aliev to win by decision. I'm 80% confident he's going to get the dub. I have Fatima Kline to win by TKO or a decision. I'm 75% confident she's going to get the dub. I have Magomed Gadzhiyasulov to win by decision. I'm 65% confident he's going to get the dub. I have Kareckaite to win by decision. 70% she's going to get it done. Jacoby Smith to win by TKO. 65% chance he's going to get it done, in my opinion. Thiago Moises to win by decision. I'm only 55% confident in that one, so there is some value on the dog, in my opinion. Marco Tulio TKO, 66%. Felipe Bunes submission, 60%. Euros Medic TKO, I'm 80% confident. I'm pretty confident on that one. Austin Bashi, I am 55% confident he's going to win. So one could say there is value on the dog there. Roman Kopylov, 60% chance he's going to win, in my opinion. Maybe 70%. I'm pretty confident he's going to get it done. Let's go ahead and switch to 70. I have Cesar Almeida, 85% chance of him getting it done. It's a close fight, man. I got Carlson Harris, 55% chance he gets it done. And Amanda Ribas, 65% chance she gets it done. Folks, that is going to be it for me, man. Man, it's going to be a great year, man. UFC is actually coming to Chicago, I believe, for a fight night. I can't wait. I can't wait, man. I'm going to be in there in attendance for it, and I merch that. Man, I appreciate everybody, man. Let's make this year the best year, man. Do everything that you set out to do. Like, it's no tomorrow if you don't start today. It's all about starting and doing it, you know. It's a difference between saying you're going to go do it and actually going to go out there and do it, you know. A lot of people can go and say they're going to go do anything, but it's up to you to go out there and do it. And, you know, I just think that's important because, you know, a lot of people, oh, I'm old, this and that, you know, but you got to make it happen. You know, shit doesn't happen by you sitting down unless you're making these bets. You're taking my picks. But I just, I want this to be a great year for everybody. Always keep yourself in good spirits and just don't accept nothing less than greatness. That's all I can say to you. This video is almost 30 minutes long. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope everybody has a great night. And, man, let's enjoy this UFC event. You know, don't sell us a crap card. We just had 3 weeks of not having shit. So enjoy them. And, man, make good bets. And, you know, man, I'll be back in the next one. We got UFC 311. It'll be a great one. But until then, everybody, peace.
I'm stay focused, I'm getting motion with my mans. Folks trying to get close, can you keep going? Yes, I can. Rolling out of been falling, feel like I'm falling, I ain't fall, here I stand. Top